The morning sun streamed through the bridal suite windows, casting golden light across Alara's ivory gown. She stood before the mirror, hardly recognizing the woman staring back, radiant, glowing, about to marry the man she'd loved for 3 years. Her hands trembled as she adjusted her veil, not from nerves, but from pure joy. "You look like a dream," her sister Maya whispered, squeezing her shoulder. Alara smiled, though her stomach fluttered. In 2 hours, she would walk down the aisle of the Riverside Manor and become Mrs. Daniel Ashford. Everything was perfect: the flowers, the weather, the 200 guests waiting below. She'd planned every detail obsessively, from the pearl-studded centerpieces to the string quartet that would play their song. "I need to grab something from Daniel's room," Alara said suddenly, remembering the cufflinks her father had given him that morning. "Be right back." She gathered her dress and slipped into the corridor, her heart singing. The manor's east wing was quiet, most guests already seated outside. As she approached Daniel's suite, she heard voices, his voice, and another. Her maid of honor, Victoria. Alara's hand froze on the doorknob. "Can't keep doing this," Victoria was saying, her tone urgent. "She's about to walk down that aisle." "I know," Daniel replied, and something in his voice made Alara's blood run cold. "But once we're married, I'll have access to her trust fund. Her father already signed the business over to me. Just a few more hours, Vic." Silence. Then Victoria's laugh, bitter and sharp. "You're really going through with it? Marrying her just for the money?" "What choice do I have?" Daniel's voice hardened. "My company's drowning in debt. Her family's wealth is the only lifeline. And Alara, she's so naive, so eager to please. She'll never suspect a thing." Alara pressed her palm against the wall, her legs suddenly weak. The world tilted sideways. "And us?" Victoria asked softly. "Nothing changes between us. We'll be more careful. Once everything's transferred to my name, I'll figure out the rest." Daniel paused. "She'll be so devastated by the divorce, she won't fight me on the settlement. By then, I'll have taken what I need." The corridor spun. 3 years of memories flashed through Alara's mind. Their first date at the art gallery, the night he proposed on the beach, every "I love you" that now tasted like ash. Her father's warning echoed. "Make him sign a prenup, sweetheart." But she'd refused, believing in their love, in Daniel's integrity. What a fool she'd been. Alara backed away from the door, her breath coming in short gasps. Tears blurred her vision, but beneath the pain, something else stirred, something sharp and unforgiving. She thought of her father's business, the trust fund her grandmother had left her, the life she'd been ready to build. They thought her naive, eager to please. They had no idea what they'd awakened. Alara straightened, wiping her eyes. Her reflection in a hallway mirror showed a woman transformed, jaw set, eyes blazing with cold fury. The wedding was in 90 minutes. Her father's attorney was among the guests. Her cousin Marcus, a private investigator, sat in the third row. And she had a plan. She turned and walked back toward the bridal suite, each step deliberate. Maya looked up as she entered, concern crossing her face. "Everything okay?" Alara's smile was ice over fire. "Perfect. Actually, I need your help with something. And I need you to trust me completely." Alara's mind raced as she pulled Maya into the bathroom, away from the other bridesmaids. Her heart still hammered against her ribs, but the initial shock had crystallized into razor-sharp focus. "What's wrong?" Maya gripped her arms. "You look—" "Listen carefully," Alara interrupted, keeping her voice steady. "Daniel's marrying me for my money. I just overheard him confessing everything to Victoria." Maya's face went white. "What? No, that can't. I need you to find Marcus. Tell him to record everything at the ceremony, especially my vows. Then find Dad's attorney, Harold. Bring them both to the library in 20 minutes. Don't let anyone see you." Alara's voice didn't waver. "Can you do that?" Maya's shock transformed into fierce determination. "Absolutely." As her sister slipped out, Alara sat at the vanity, her reflection staring back with steel in its eyes. She opened her phone and pulled up her bank account, her father's business documents, every digital record she could access. Her fingers flew across the screen. The door opened. Her mother entered, resplendent in sage green silk. "Darling, it's almost. Why are you on your phone?" "Just handling some last-minute details." Alara stood, kissing her mother's cheek. Everything's perfect, Mom. Trust me. In the library, Alara faced three people: Maya, Marcus with his discreet recording equipment, and Harold Pemberton, her father's silver-haired attorney who'd known her since childhood. "This is highly irregular," Harold said, but his eyes were sharp with interest. Alara repeated what she'd overheard, her voice never breaking. Marcus's expression darkened with each word. "I have a plan," she continued, "but I need documentation. Harold, that prenup Dad wanted, do you still have it?" "In my briefcase. I brought it hoping you'd reconsider. I want it modified. Immediately. Any fraud or infidelity discovered within the first year means he gets nothing. Can you draft that in 40 minutes? Harold's smile was wolfish. 30. "Marcus, I need you to investigate Daniel's company. Everything. I want proof of his debts, his real situation. How fast can you work?" "I've been suspicious of him for months," Marcus admitted. "I already have a file." The conspiracy took shape. Alara felt power returning to her limbs, purpose steadying her hands. She wasn't the naive girl they thought her. She was her father's daughter, a woman who'd built a successful art consulting business before age 25, who'd negotiated international deals, who'd simply chosen to love openly. That openness had been mistaken for weakness. Never again. The ceremony loomed. Alara touched up her makeup, watching herself transform back into the blushing bride. But beneath the soft exterior, something predatory waited. As she walked toward the ceremony space, she passed Victoria in the hallway. Her former best friend smiled, artificial and sweet. "You look beautiful," Victoria said. Alara returned the smile with equal falseness. "Thank you for being here today. It means everything to me." Victoria's eyes flickered with something: guilt, perhaps, or satisfaction. Alara didn't care. She continued forward, her father appearing beside her, offering his arm. "Ready, sweetheart?" he asked. She looked up at him. This man who'd built an empire, who'd tried to protect her. "More than you know, Dad." The doors opened. The string quartet began their song. 200 faces turned toward her. At the end of the aisle stood Daniel, devastatingly handsome in his tuxedo, his smile warm and loving and completely false. Alara walked forward, her dress whispering against the flower-strewn path. With each step, her plan solidified. In her bouquet, she'd hidden a small envelope. In her heart, she carried a cold, brilliant rage. Daniel took her hand, his eyes soft with feigned adoration. "You're breathtaking," he whispered. "So are you," she replied, meaning something entirely different. The officiant began, voice solemn and ceremonial. Alara barely heard the words, her mind 3 steps ahead, calculating, preparing. When the moment came for vows, she would strike. And Daniel Ashford would learn what it meant to underestimate Alara Montgomery. The officiant's voice carried across the garden. "Do you, Daniel James Ashford, take this woman?" "I do," Daniel said, his voice strong and confident. His thumb traced circles on Alara's hand, a gesture that once made her melt. Now it made her skin crawl. "And do you, Alara Catherine Montgomery?" "Wait." Alara's voice rang clear. "Before I answer, I'd like to say my own vows." Daniel's smile faltered for just a moment. The officiant nodded, stepping back. Alara turned to face the guests, still holding Daniel's hand. 200 faces watched expectantly. She found her father in the front row, Marcus with his camera, Harold with his knowing expression. "Daniel," she began, her voice carrying emotion, though not the kind anyone expected. 3 years ago, you came into my life like a miracle. You said you loved me for who I was, not what I had." She paused, letting the words hang. "I believed you completely." Daniel squeezed her hand, missing the edge in her tone. Victoria sat in the second row, her face carefully neutral. "I believed you when you said my father's business didn't matter to you. When you said my trust fund meant nothing. When you promised that our love was pure, untainted by material concerns." Alara's smile sharpened. "I was so naive, so eager to please. Wasn't I?" Daniel's expression flickered with confusion. "Alara, what? Those were your words, weren't they? From about an hour ago?" She pulled the small recording device from her bouquet, Marcus's voice clear through the speaker. "Just for the money?" followed by Daniel's damning response. The garden erupted. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Victoria stood abruptly, her face ashen. Daniel's hand went limp in Alara's grasp. "I heard everything," Alara continued, her voice steady despite the chaos. Your plan to drain my accounts. Your affair with my maid of honor. Your dying company that you thought my family's money would save. She dropped his hand like poison. Did you really think I was that blind? Alara, please, let me explain. Daniel reached for her, but she stepped back. Harold, she gestured to the attorney, who approached with papers. Before this ceremony, I had our prenuptial agreement modified and signed. Every asset remains separate. Any fraud or infidelity means you receive nothing. She turned back to Daniel. Of course, now there won't be a marriage at all. Daniel's composure shattered. You can't do this. Your father's business is still his. Her father interjected, standing. His voice boomed across the garden. The papers you signed yesterday transferred nothing. They were decoys, Harold's idea. We wanted to trust you, Daniel. Alara fought us on it. His eyes blazed. She believed in you. Victoria tried to slip away, but Maya blocked her path, arms crossed. Alara removed her engagement ring, holding it up to the light. This was my grandmother's ring. She survived the depression, built a business from nothing, and taught me that love without respect is just a pretty lie. She dropped it into Daniel's frozen palm. You can keep it. Consider it payment for the lesson. She turned to the assembled guests, her voice carrying over their murmurs. I apologize for the dramatic scene. However, I'm told the reception venue is already paid for, and the food is exceptional. Please, stay and celebrate. Her smile was genuine now, fierce and free. My lucky escape. Laughter broke the tension. Applause began, slowly at first, then building. Her mother rushed forward, enveloping her in an embrace. Maya appeared at her other side, squeezing her hand. Daniel stood frozen at the altar, the ring burning in his palm, his carefully constructed plan demolished. Security guards, arranged by Marcus, appeared to escort him and Victoria from the property. Wait, Alara called out. Daniel turned, a flicker of hope crossing his face. Marcus has already contacted your creditors and investors. They'll receive documentation of your fraud attempts. I imagine your company's bankruptcy will be finalized within the week. Her smile was winter itself. Oh, and Victoria? Consider our friendship as dead as your career. I've already informed the gallery that hired you about your ethics. As they were led away, Alara felt the weight of 3 years lift from her shoulders. The afternoon sun seemed brighter, the air clearer. That was the most badass thing I've ever seen, Maya whispered. Her father approached, pride shining in his eyes. I'm sorry you had to go through this. Don't be. Alara linked arms with both of them, surveying the chaotic garden, her wedding that wasn't, her guests who'd witnessed the spectacle, her life that suddenly felt like her own again. I just learned exactly what I'm capable of. As they walked toward the reception hall, because the food really was excellent, and she'd paid for it, Alara felt something shift inside her. The woman who'd stood in the bridal suite that morning was gone. In her place stood someone stronger, wiser, and utterly unbreakable. She'd planned a wedding. Instead, she'd staged a resurrection. And the rest of her life stretched ahead, gloriously uncertain and entirely, completely hers. 3 months later, Alara opened her own art gallery. She never married Daniel, but she married herself to the idea that she would never again mistake kindness for weakness or love for surrender. And sometimes, late at night, she thought about that morning and smiled. Revenge, she'd learned, was best served at your own almost wedding, in front of 200 witnesses, with receipts. And it was delicious. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel and enjoy these other amazing stories.